This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the morning of Friday, May 17th, 2024. I'm Alex Brown. A major capital campaign is underway to build a $7 million Indianapolis Animal Care Services shelter, and IndyCar drivers, including Alexander Rossi, are adding fuel to the effort. The driver took part in a photo shoot this week on Monument Circle in downtown Indianapolis with a few shelter dogs to kick off a big push to raise the last bit of money to support the shelter.
As much as the challenges that we have, at the racetrack, you take a step back and realize, how fortunate of a position we are to be in, and, doing things to help make a better environment for the animals and for the people that are helping the animals is something that I think we at Arrow McLaren take a lot of pride in.
The new shelter will triple the amount of space of the current facility, add special health care suites, and improve the overall conditions for animals and staff. Officials in Lake County are moving forward with efforts to add a new convention center. Our partners at the Times of Northwest Indiana report the Lake County Board of Commissioners has issued a request for proposals for the project, which are due by October 16th. A study released in March recommended a 145,000 square foot convention center with 73,000 square feet of meeting and exhibition space, including an 18,000 square foot ballroom. The study said the venue could generate about 1,300 full-time, part-time, and temporary construction jobs and generate nearly $60 million for the local economy each year. New York-based 1440 Foods, which owns a portfolio of sports and active nutrition brands, said Thursday it is moving its main manufacturing operations to Jeffersonville. The company plans to invest $60 million to set up shop in the River Ridge Commerce Center and create nearly 200 jobs. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
IBJ Media, Inside Indiana Business, and the Indiana Economic Development Corporation invite you to the Engage Indiana series, presented by CareSource, Indiana University, and Old National Bank. With an unrelenting focus on growing Indiana's economy, we'll dive into each region's unique challenges and distinct opportunities for growth. 9 regions, 1 goal. Indiana's bold future starts here. Discover more and register at ibj.com/engage.
Indiana landowners for the second consecutive year set a record in the number of conservation practices to maintain soil health, according to figures collected by the Indiana Conservation Partnership.
Landowners supported by the partnership, a consortium of public and not-for-profit groups, installed more than 50,000 new conservation practices, up to 3,000 from 2022's record. The partnership works with Hoosier landowners to provide technical and financial assistance for conservation efforts. The report showed that over the past year, landowners helped prevent more than 1.6 million tons of sediment, more than 3.6 million pounds of nitrogen, and more than 1.8 million pounds of phosphorus from entering Indiana's waterways. In the fall of 2022, Hoosier farmers planted more than 1.6 million acres of living cover, which includes cover crops and winter wheat. The report said cover crops and no-till practices sequestered an estimated 41,000 tons of soil organic carbon, which is equivalent to the carbon emissions of more than 30,000 cars. State conservationist Damaris Mortensen said the conservation efforts are vital to keep Indiana's soil healthy and productive, particularly in a time where extreme weather events are inevitable. The Indiana Conservation Partnership includes the Indiana Association of Soil and Water Conservation Districts, the Indiana Department of Environmental Management, the Indiana Department of Natural Resources, Purdue Extension, and the USDA Natural Resources Conservation Service. Kate Sharon, Inside Indiana Business Radio.
The ports of Indiana said Thursday that more than $77 million in infrastructure and expansion projects are being developed at its Burns Harbor port as construction season gets underway. CEO Jody Peacock said that the port is going through a transformational multi-year expansion, noting that the amount of construction that is currently happening exceeds every year since the port was built in the 1960s. Among the projects is a $35.4 million effort to build 2 highway bridges that will serve as the inbound and outbound lanes connecting the port to State Road 249. Additionally, a $25 million multimodal project will involve the construction of 3 ship berths and 2 rail yards that the Port Authority said will expand shipping capabilities and improve efficiencies. Indiana Secretary of Commerce David Rosenberg is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports and entertainment, and beyond. Available now from your favorite podcast provider. I'm Alex Brown for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.